This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got some important updates to share with you. The House has just passed a bill to lower the cost of insulin to $35, but there may be a catch. President Biden made a huge announcement releasing 1 million barrels of oil per day. I'll let you know why that could be a good idea or bad idea. And instead of a gas holiday, Nancy Pelosi is suggesting prepaid cards or direct payments like stimulus checks. And I'll give you some other stimulus check news like this. Americans to receive $87.3 million in rental assistance, and low-income families to get new monthly $1,500 prepaid cards starting tomorrow, and hundreds of thousands of seniors to get up to $1,750 tax cut next year. And I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So I want to get your opinion on this. House passes bill capping insulin at $35 a month for patients with insurance. So let me know, are you on insulin? Is $35 a month affordable for you? Should it be more? Should it be less? The key here, though, is that it's for only patients with insurance. Take a look at this video clip right here explaining more.
A new Politico Morning Consult poll finds that 42% of voters plan to vote for the Democratic candidate in congressional elections this year. 41% plan to vote for the Republicans. 17% aren't sure. Now, those numbers could change if stories like this are presented to voters. Today, every Democrat in the House voted to pass the Affordable Insulin Now Act, which would cap the monthly cost of insulin at $35 starting next year. And almost every Republican in the House voted against that. Every member of the House Republican leadership voted no to $35 insulin. Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy voted no. Minority Whip Steve Scalise voted no. Republican Conference Chair Elise Stefanik voted no. The bill now heads to the Senate, where Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock has introduced a companion bill. Joining us now is Representative Lucy McBath, a co-sponsor of today's bill, who voted yes. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Did you hear anything in the Republican argument against this?
Yes, we did. I heard over and over again that, we're not even considering those individuals that are not going to be in, those that don't have insurance, that this policy does not protect those individuals that don't have insurance. But as I said to my Republican colleagues on the floor today, it's like, you're right, it does not. But there again, come to the table, build some compromise, some consensus, help us to do that very thing, to make sure that we're putting forth policy that will protect the lives of every individual in this country, whether they have insurance or not, making sure that they will have access to this life-saving drug and can afford to pay for it.
So what are your thoughts on that, with the House passing it, Republicans against it, Democrats for it? What are your thoughts on this bill in general? You heard that last part there, that it's only for patients with insurance. But I was curious, why are Republicans against it? So I went to Fox Business, and according to Senator Chuck Grassley, saying that Democrats could have a deal on prescription drugs if they drop their bid to authorize Medicare to negotiate prices, saying, do Democrats really want to help seniors, or would they rather have the campaign issue? Also, Matt Gaetz said another big government bill that claims to serve the American people by subverting basic economic theory with proposed codification of government price controls. So those are the only two Republicans that I heard were against it, why they voted against it. I wanted to see more reasons why. Let me know. Good idea, bad idea, capping it at $35. Should it also include people without insurance? Let me know your thoughts on all that. So huge announcement from President Biden here. Biden oil move aims to cut gas prices fairly significantly. So with this bold move by President Biden, gas prices could go lower, but it could be a dangerous scenario. I'll play you this video clip explaining more, and then we'll talk about the reasons why this may be a bad idea. Take a look at this.
Right now, oil and gas industry is sitting on nearly 9,000 unused but approved permits for production on federal lands, or more than 1 million unused acres they have a right to pump on. Families can't afford that companies sit on their hands. So, to help execute this first part of my plan, I'm calling for a use it or lose it policy. Congress should make companies pay fees on wells on federal leases they haven't used in years and acres of public land they're hoarding without production. Companies that are already producing from these wells won't be affected, but those sitting on unused leases and idle wells will either have to start producing or pay the price for their inaction. Look, the action I'm calling for will make a real difference over time. But the truth is, it takes months, not days, for companies to increase production. That's why the next part of my plan is so important. Today, I'm authorizing the release of 1 million barrels per day for the next 6 months, over 180 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. This is a wartime bridge to increase oil supply until production ramps up later this year. And it is by far the largest release of our national reserve in our history. It will provide a historic amount of supply for a historic amount of time, a 6 months bridge to the fall. And we'll use the revenue from selling the oil now to restock the Strategic Petroleum Reserve when prices are lower. So, we'll be ready. We'll be ready for future emergencies.
What are your thoughts on what President Biden had to say? Do you agree, disagree? Do you think this will help the price of gas go down? Is it worth tapping into reserves to do so? So I want to give you the Republican perspective here. So Biden administration to release 1 million barrels of oil daily from the U.S. reserves. So national average price of gas is about 62% higher than a month ago. Prices are really high, but is it the right move to use the reserves, which are meant for emergencies? Take a look at this video clip right here, giving another perspective.
How do we help people directly? If you're going to have to pay for it, and you don't want it to come out of the trust fund, something could be a rebate card or a direct payment, and those are the things that are being considered.
Those are the things that are being considered. Senator Tom Cotton joins me now. Senator, perhaps it's because of their advanced age or something, but Biden and Pelosi do not seem to care very much about America's future.
No, Laura, they don't. You know, Nancy Pelosi is talking about gimmicks. I would call what Joe Biden has proposed a gimmick, but it's much worse than that. It's dangerous. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve is for emergencies. The only emergency I see is Joe Biden's polling numbers and the fact that we've got a midterm coming up in about 7 months. But if we release this oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve every day for the next 6 months, we're only treating the symptoms, not the cause. Its cause is the war that Joe Biden is waging on oil and gas production in America. In 2019, at the peak of production under the last administration, we were producing more than 1 million barrels every single day than we're producing today. So that alone is what he's releasing from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. If we would simply allow the oil and gas workers across America to produce the resources that God put underneath our soil. But it's worse than that. What if, say, Iran, emboldened by a terrible nuclear deal, strikes refineries or production facilities in places like Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or the United Arab Emirates? What if a major hurricane hits Louisiana and Texas this year? That's why we have the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, not to float Joe Biden's terrible poll numbers and try to help the Democrats limp into a midterm election. This is not just a gimmick, it's dangerous.
Well, one Democrat doesn't seem interested, Senator, in lowering gas prices.
The one consumer product that each American knows is the price of gasoline. And it becomes a metaphor for the economy, which is why it's imperative that we announce a Green New Deal agenda. That's the message which I'm working with, and that's the message which Joe Biden is making very clear has to be the agenda for our country.
So what's your opinion on that? Is it worth using the emergency reserves to help bring down the price of gas, I guess, until other things are going, until the U.S. starts pumping on U.S. land again and becoming energy independent? Let me know your thoughts on all that down in the comments below. So Nancy Pelosi rejects gas tax holiday. Basically, a gas tax holiday means that the gas tax suspension, so whether it's 10 cents, 20 cents, whatever it is, they would suspend that. She's actually against that. So what she said here is, how do we help people directly? If you're going to have to pay for it and you don't want it to come out of the trust fund, something could be a rebate card or direct payment. And those are things that are being considered. So rebate card or direct payments, essentially stimulus checks, just money that could be used for whatever. Good idea, bad idea. Looks like Nancy Pelosi wants to go that route than the tax holiday. Next, let's get into some stimulus news here. So Americans to receive $87.3 million in rental assistance. Find out if you qualify. So these are for residents in New Jersey. So New Jersey has doled out $625 million in federal emergency rental assistance. And after all that has been used, they're actually giving an additional $87.3 million in rental assistance. So if you live in New Jersey, you could access that. And then stimulus, $75 tax rebates being sent to 25,000 Americans. This is going on in Idaho. So after doing your taxes in Idaho, some of them are getting an extra $75 after that. And then California City to give transgender and non-binary residents up to $900 a month. So in California, in Palm Springs, California, they are giving $900 per month to transgender and non-binary residents. The bill passed on March 24th. So that's going on there. And then $13,000 checks worth up to $500 still need to be claimed. So anyone living in Maryland, there were stimulus checks that went out. It was $300 for individuals, $500 for couples in 2021, and it looks like there's still 13,000 checks. So if you live in Maryland and you qualify for that, you could still claim that. And then low-income families to get new monthly $1,500 prepaid cards starting tomorrow. See who is eligible. Another city in California. So families across California will receive monthly cash aid between $1,200 and $1,500 for the next 2 years beginning April. Basic Income Pilot Program is targeted at households who are already receiving aid through CalWorks, which is a California program. So the program will help 54 families in YOLO, the California county with the highest percentage of residents. So that's going on in YOLO County, California. And then Durham, North Carolina launches long-awaited guaranteed basic income program. This one is giving $600 per month, I think for the entire year in Durham, North Carolina. And then hundreds of thousands of seniors to get up to $1,750 tax cut next year. Will you benefit? So this is also going on in Maryland. Maryland leaders said that they're going to save seniors $1,750. And basically, the bipartisan agreement helps hundreds of thousands of seniors on fixed incomes who are struggling with inflation. So basically, $1,750 going out to couples earning less than $150,000, and then any single seniors are getting $1,000 tax break, and you have to be over 65 to get that in Maryland. Let me know, is this a good idea? Should this be extended in other states? Anyone 65 or older get $1,000. If you're a couple, you get $1,750. Good idea, bad idea? Should this be on a federal level too? Let me know your thoughts on all that. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. I tell you the one thing that you should do. When you feel something and you don't really feel good, then be grateful what you have. Be thankful. Because the next day it might not be there. So, that's what I wanted to say. True or false? Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. So we are actually going camping. Actually, after my wife gets out from work today, Friday, we're going camping overnight. Tomorrow and potentially Saturday, we have our tent. We're going to a campground, Jones Park, North Carolina. So really excited about that. I'll share some videos and experiences. So I probably won't be able to post a video tomorrow, but Sunday most likely. So hopefully you have a great weekend as well. If you want to check out any of my latest videos, you could click up here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.